What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. I have a very special review for you guys today, the AG version of the X Speedflow Plus in the beautiful blue and pink colorway. Let's get after it. All right, so hopping right into the unboxing of these boots. The box is a very typical Plus variation of the Adidas lineup. So it's all the Plus models, all the laceless models get this awesome X-box with with the X here, obviously the Pred logo or the Copa logo in that front area, which is kind of an stippled thing. I'll put it over the overhead camera so you guys can kind of see better. So it's this really cool pattern there. You get an X logo here and then Adidas logo on the end, the X logo on the other side again, and it is that drawer style. So this is the size 9 US in the X Speedflow Plus in the AG model. Now, the AG model is one that I've been looking for a little while because I actually play most of my training sessions on the AG pitches. It's really important to make sure I take care of my feet, and having a really aggressive FG sole plate, especially like the carbon fiber one in here. The carbon fiber is not what makes it aggressive, it's actually the length of the studs and where the studs are placed and stuff. It can get a little bit painful. Not in a way that's negative, it's just I really feel the grip and it's almost too grippy for an AG surface. So my idea, get the AG pair and just be chilling on that end. So we're gonna open up the box. Again, it is that cool drawer style that most of the Plus variations or all the Plus variations get from the X and the Pred and the Copa from the Adidas lineup. So we'll go straight into the unboxing. Very cool. I love how these look. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we'll take these out of the bag and I'll get this box over. There you go. So they come in this really cool string bag. So if you obviously can tell, this is the blue color, that's that pink, and we'll get these. Oh my goodness. Look at those. So right away, you can tell that's the AG sole plate. We'll talk about that in just a little bit, but aren't these absolutely stunning? These boots are so pretty looking. I love the color. I love the pink accents. I think they've absolutely crushed it with this colorway. Let's get these out of, I'll get these tags and stuff out for you guys in just a bit, but let's get the other boot out and we'll go from there. Okay, so there's that boot. So pretty. Here are the boots right here, and as you can tell right away, the upper is completely the same as the normal X Speedflow Plus. It's the exact same boot, it's just got the AG sole plate. So the difference in the AG sole plate is that it doesn't have that carbon fiber bottom to it. It's just a plastic TPU material, and it's got several more studs. So this one compared to the carbon fiber version, obviously this one's gonna have shorter studs, as you can see here, much shorter, and then they're also much more conical shaped. These ones are kind of hexagonal in shape. I'll show you guys here. So you can kind of tell they are more of like a hexagon shape. They almost look like a triangle that's had their edges or the points rounded off almost. And of course, they've put the outsole coating on the bottom of the shoe. Will potentially wear off during play, but will not affect the performance of this product. Excellent sticker. Okay, we get it. And what you can tell from these ones as well is they aren't as arched as the Plus variation with the carbon fiber. So if you look at how these are placed, they're much flatter. And what I think that does is it gives your foot a much easier time adjusting to the hardness of the ground instead of constantly being kind of forced into that on your toes type movement. The insole is a white suede, so it's pretty non-special, if you will. It's just a suede on the top side, and then obviously that thin foam on the bottom half of it. Unlike Nike, there is no pattern that basically has the insole kind of engraved into the bottom of the sole plate, which I think is a really cool feature from the Nike brand. That's something that I think they do really well. This sole plate, this insole sometimes does slip around a little bit, but it's not a big deal if you wear grip socks because your foot's pretty well locked down. And as far as softness goes, these are mighty, mighty soft. They are such a plush pair. Well, I wouldn't say plush, but definitely a thin and soft pair. Somehow they've managed to make this section here actually quite durable with that speed cage insole, which you can see right there, right in the inside. That white material is basically what holds the structure of the boot together. And it is on both sides. You can see it there as well. And it's on both sides. And what that does is it makes for an internal caging structure so that when this prime knit, we're at Adidas, not Nike, the prime knit material of the upper starts to stretch and mold to your foot, that internal cage keeps it to a certain level so that you're not overstretching the boot or you're not getting to the point, especially with a laceless boot, which happens often. It gets so loose that your foot is just moving and grooving inside of that shoe, which is obviously not a good thing because you risk injury and you risk kind of other things happening. But as far as changes go to this versus the other FG boot, this is the exact same pair of boots. So it's the exact same pair, and it's as the Plus models, except it's just got a different sole plate. That would be the same for the SG variation, the soft ground with the steel studs. All of them are just made same upper, just a different sole plate construction. So that's something to keep in mind. Why they do that is obviously to cater to people who wear shoes on super soft wet grass all the time, regular firm grass, or artificial turf. Oftentimes, the one thing that I would say is most frustrating about the American economy of soccer boots, if you will, is that AG variations of boots are not as common as the FG variations. And the FG variations are mostly what the pros wear. A lot of pros will wear like a custom stud pattern with maybe one or two or four steel studs in the front and then the regular studs in the back, or some combination. Everybody's got their own little tweaks to the sole plate, but the most advertised boots in the soccer boot community and in the media are the FG variations because that's the most common, if you will. My issue with that is most of the pitches in America and in a lot of other countries in the world are actually AG pitches. So they're the artificial ground pitches, which you guys will see in the later parts of this video when I take these on pitch. And they are AG pitches. And even if they're really amazing AG pitches, they're still AG pitches. So they're still not natural. They don't have that squish to them. Yes, they'll get better and better over time. But I really do wish that AG boots were often, especially in the speed boot category, were offered more often and were more readily available for players, because I think it would really do good things to the risk of injury, especially in your knees, ankles, and sometimes your muscles in your groin and stuff. I think a lot of those injuries would go down if you had more AG boots available on the market in soccer.com and some of the other American-based retailers, right? So I think that's something that I wish would happen a little bit more. Could they put a carbon fiber plate in here as well? Absolutely. Should they? Yeah, you probably could. I think it would make it pretty awesome, actually. It is, again, a lot more flat, if you will. They've got a lot of structure to them. Really nice pair of boots. They've got little stippling on that midfoot part as well on the flat part here. And obviously you've got the 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 studs, which I think is totally fine for an AG pair of boots. I'm not super stickler on the amount of studs at all. But overall, for me, aesthetically speaking, again, plate aside, some people say that the aesthetic of an FG plate looks better than an AG plate for the most part. I would probably agree with that. I think it looks more aggressive when it's got that crazy carbon fiber sole plate and it really, puts you up on your toes and all that stuff. But overall, I think this colorway for me is an 8.5 or 9 out of 10. I think these look absolutely incredible. I love this blue. It's actually very, very similar to the blue of my brand logo, which is also sort of near and dear to my heart. So that is something, and I love this pink color because it's like a hot pink. Like it's really in your face and aggressive, and that combined with this blue I think makes for a super noticeable and beautiful pair of football boots. So very, very cool looking. I know they'll fit just fine because I love the Speedflow Plus that I wear normally, plus the ones that you guys have already seen, the other FG pair that I wear as well, although this video may come out before that, so teaser, there's another video for X Speedflow Plus is coming, and those are a different colorway than the original ones that I did the 1 month review of, and I continue to wear in training, those like Black Panther looking ones. But overall, the X Speedflow Plus, fantastic pair of football boots, amazing to wear on feet. I think they are absolutely incredible for anybody who is looking for the most seamless and raw sensation on foot. It's a really great vacuum seal you've got in this boot. I don't have any spaces around my ankles, especially in that ankle spot. And I think overall this boot is catered towards players who really want that one-to-one sensation. It's incredibly soft, and it does such a good job of wrapping your foot in a way that's super comfortable, moldable, and of course has great performance as well. So without further ado, we got 2 more parts of the video. We're gonna hop into, first, as always, we're gonna hop into the on-feet portion of the video just in my living room, and I'll show you what they look like just to put on, and then of course we'll hop into the on-field portion of the video where you can see what they look like, not in a training session necessarily, but with a ball at my feet on a pitch, and you can see kind of what they look like with a little more of a kit on. So let's go straight into it. All right, fam, so I've got the X Speedflow Pluses in hand, the AG variation just in my living room. I've got a little bit of carpet, so that'll be great for figuring out kind of what the grip is like and what the differences are in the way that they fit and feel. So we'll hop straight into it, and as these are sort of slip-ons, if you will, it'll be pretty straightforward to get on. I love the way these look. I do not have grip socks on right now, and the reason is because I want to make sure that I slide right into the boots and make sure they fit really well. So again, sliding the boots on, I just put a couple fingers behind my heel and grab this tab up here, and my feet slide in pretty easily right away. Now, first impressions of how these fit and feel, you guys know I love these boots. I think they are absolutely amazing as far as comfort goes. They really wrap your foot and give you that one-to-one sensation on feet. And right away, actually, I can feel the difference with the AG variation. It's actually a little bit heavier. The AGs are slightly heavier, I think. They're like maybe 0.2 or 0.3 ounces heavier. And as you can see on feet, they are really, really nice looking. I love the way this color is. And they are actually a little bit flatter. So they do have that little bit flatter sole plate, which allows a little bit more flexibility, I think, in that area of your foot where you really want to push off and get sort of your toes down into the ground. These boots allow you to do that, and there's less pressure points than the FG variation because the FG, there's less studs and they're longer, so they give a little bit more pressure point, where these feel like the stud pressure is evenly distributed along the entire boot, which I think is actually a super cool thing. Again, as far as how the X Speedflow fits on feet, I have very wide feet in this outside area, and they are stretching just fine. My toe, this is a size 9 US. My toe, as you can see, goes all the way up right to the edge. There's probably less than a millimeter of space at the end, and that is the way that I like my boots. I like my boots really tight, especially on lengthwise. I always say go lengthwise first and then figure out what boots fit you on the width and go from there. But I will say these are so comfortable straight out of the box, and they fit really, really well. And at least on carpet, I'm sure on the AG pitch in a little bit, which I'll show you guys the next part of the video, these will be awesome for the fit and feel of the ground and really digging into the ground without being too grippy, because I think that's the thing where you grip and you try to pivot and your knee explodes. That's not a good thing. So obviously I want to make sure that I'm wearing the correct sole plate for the correct pitch. So if I'm on an AG pitch, I'm wearing these boots. If I'm on an FG pitch, or maybe a really nice turf field where it's super long turf or it's really deep and squishy, I can wear those FG and feel okay, especially with that pivot and with those turning. But as far as lateral stability goes, these boots are really nice. I will say they perhaps aren't as customizable fit-wise as the laced version, obviously, but that's because they're a different material on the upper, and they are also laceless, obviously, so you kind of get that one sensation that if they fit you, fantastic. If they don't, then you're kind of out of luck as far as these go, just because you aren't really able to get that customized fit with tying the laces tight. Overall though, I love how these look on feet. I think the AG sole plate is actually super nice. I'm enjoying just wearing it on the carpet. I think there's much less stud pressure than there is on the FG variation, and I'm sure there would be on the SG variation, the soft grounds. I don't have a pair of those, so and I probably won't get a pair just because we don't play on SG pitches ever, really, especially in the league that I'm playing in. It's mostly AG or nice FG pitches that are dry, and they're mostly in the California, Arizona, Nevada, that kind of area where the pitch is going to be dry, and if it's wet, it's because they put a sprinkler on, but an FG pair of shoes is perfectly adequate for that type of environment. But again, AG, 10 out of 10, well done, Adidas. I think this AG feels really nice. We'll see obviously how it fits on pitch, but I love the way these boot looks. Guys, let me know down in the comments below what you think of this blue, this like cyan blue and the pink colorway. I happen to think these look absolutely spectacular. As I said, 8.5 to 9-ish, maybe 8.75 out of 10. I think these look so good. I'm usually a fan of blackout boots. I think blackout boots look really amazing, but these are something special to behold. I love this blue color. I love the pink on them, and the sole plate looks really cool. So I love that little shine to it and that ombre from blue to white. I think it looks great. So these boots, again, fantastic. I love that they make an AG variation of these. I wish more, again, as I mentioned in the earlier part of the video with the US market, I wish they would do better as far as the availability of AG boots. Perhaps they're just sold out and they actually do market them a ton, but I haven't seen a lot of it. I would like them to do a lot more, especially when it comes to joint safety, muscle safety, tendon safety. I think it would be really important to integrate this type of football boot into sort of the mainstream of football boots. So those players maybe in the MLS that are training on AG pitches, maybe they're marketing the AG variation or something else. You know, obviously it doesn't sell as well as the FG, but I do wish that players would start to wear these, because I think on an AG pitch, these would be really, really awesome. Let's hop straight into the on-field portion where I'll get these on with a ball at my feet, and we'll go straight from there. All right, fam. Welcome to the on-field portion for the X Speedflow Plus in the AG variation. I'm very excited to try these on an artificial pitch for the first time. We train indoors. The facility is right behind the camera, but I wanted to take it to the outdoor pitch because number one, this outdoor pitch is absolutely stunning. Number two, it'll be a good indication of what it would feel like on a pitch that's actually made for outdoors, right? So most of you guys are probably gonna play on outdoor pitches, so I figured why not? So wearing the same socks as I was in the indoor portion of the video, and you guys know I love the way these boots fit, so that is kind of a no-brainer. All right, get these out of the way, and right away, I really, really like, it's really cold right now, so please excuse the giant jacket. I love the way these dig in. There's no pressure points on the sole plate. Man, this could be a total game changer. I've honestly never worn AG boots before, so this is a huge deal for me. These feel so good on the pitch. I'm super impressed. Wow. Okay. Well, this could be super interesting from a playing perspective, especially if I'm going to be playing on AG pitches most of the time. These boots might be kind of the way I go from now on, just because of how responsive they feel on feet. I bet I could find the maybe like a Tiempo in an AG. I've been trying to find the Phantom Venoms in an AG as well, although those are much harder to find. But if these X Speedflow Pluses, which are like probably my third favorite boot that I actually own right now, maybe tied second with the Phantom Venoms and closely behind the Tiempos. Wow, these are amazing, guys. Genuinely, the AG version on an AG pitch feels so nice, so natural. There's no pressure points. I don't feel any weird stability things where, ooh, maybe I could do something weird to my ankles or my knees. They just dig in, they feel natural. Like, it really does feel like
these boots are meant for AG, which of course they are. They're developed. This shouldn't be, you know, anything of surprise to you guys, but it does feel so fun to me because I've never worn an AG boot before. So if you guys are interested in buying a pair of AG boots because you only really play on the artificial grass fields, I would absolutely recommend it. These are genuinely so nice and they grip the ground so well. I don't feel like there's any weirdness in the way that they work. Obviously, the X Speedflow Plus themselves is an awesome boot. It feels super comfy on feet. They really do have this vacuum seal, and there's no space on any of the ankle parts right here where I usually have issues with certain boots, and not really issues necessarily, but just like extra space in between my ankle and on the outside there. But these feel incredible. They really do. I love the way the X Speedflow fits. And of course the AG variation, like what an awesome combo. So this actually might be a boot that I end up wearing for matches and stuff as well. I'll probably wear them for training tonight. And stay tuned. I don't actually know if I'm going to be able to do this, but stay tuned for potentially a post-training little recap of how these went in the session, because I really do think these could be an awesome addition to the playing rotation, if you will, and potentially a main contender for the season. Preseason for me sort of is a way to figure out what boot I'm like super interested in playing in, and then of course going from there. So yeah, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed that slow-mo over, you know, you understand kind of how the grip gets into the ground and stuff as well, maybe a little bit more. As always, guys, and of course, make sure you just, you know, get the boots that you think are gonna fit your foot well. Make sure the sizing is correct. These run true to size. I wear a size 9. These are a size 9. My foot goes right up to the end of it, but without being super painful. I think these do a really good job of stretching to and molding to the shape of my foot, which is awesome. And with the AG plate is slightly wider than the normal FG plate, so that's not going to make the boots really that much wider, but it might give you a sensation of feeling a little more planted and have a little bit more support under your foot, as opposed to that carbon fiber sole plate, which kind of puts you up on your toes. This one feels much more natural and much more just like grounded in the ground, which is kind of cool. But it also does have a fair amount of responsiveness as you do push off and start to sprint a little bit. Or go in different types of directions. So if you enjoyed boot reviews like this, if you want to see more AG boots on the channel, give this one a like, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. As always, guys, be awesome, take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.